you're so right. You're so right. I'm going to take the Colts.
Welcome to Better Win Green, eh? To Better Win Green, eh? To Better Win Green, eh?
All right, welcome into another episode of Intentional Lounging brought to you by Better in Green. I am here with Ethan. We do not have our fearless leader, Ben. He is currently in the hospital. We believe it is a gallbladder infection. Ben, if you're listening or when you listen to this, we hope you are better. We'll be thinking about you. And show must go on. So me and Ethan are here. Ethan, as always, happy to have you here.
Yeah, thinking of Ben today, obviously. Couldn't have said it better myself. Hoping he's healthy, quick recovery. But yeah, as you said, show must go on. It is week 8. No breaks over here at Better and Green. So yeah, you and I, we're gonna get through it. It will be a little bit of an abbreviated show here, but we're still gonna go through every game. Still gonna give out big 3 picks, squad ride, all that. So looking forward to being here. Can't wait to talk this slate.
Yeah, I believe on Monday's live and on last Thursday's episode, you said you were really looking forward to this week's slate. Talking quickly before the show, you don't seem to have as much confidence as you did earlier in the week or last week.
Yeah, last week's results have swayed some things. There were like 3 to 4 games that was huge on last week. Now there's I'd say there's still probably 3 games I'm pretty big on, but some of them I wasn't even thinking about last week. So yeah, I'll be sure to clarify as we get into the games here which ones I'm talking about. But
Okay,
still like
yeah, myself, looking at this slate, I kind of love it and I kind of hate it at the same time. There's a couple plays that I think are obviously going to win, but they're pretty ugly to take. So I'm a little nervous about those, especially for my big 3. So I have 2 of my big 3. I have one more that I'm thinking about. So hopefully you can sway me into or push me into the right direction on a couple of these plays. But let's just get into the big Thursday night game. Not really. It's another massive line, one of the biggest lines of the weekend. We have Tampa Bay traveling to Buffalo. Buffalo is an 8.5 point favorite. Over under in this game is 43. Buffalo coming off a massive embarrassing loss to the Patriots last week. Now are I think the same spread. I think they're a 9-point favorite to the Pats. Now they're an 8.5 point favorite to the Bucks, who I think the Bucks are much better than the Patriots. So right there is super alarming line for me. For that reason, I'm going to hate myself, but I think Buffalo's the play here. I think they bounce back. I'm going to take them at 8.5, and it's disgusting, but Buffalo's a weird team. They blow teams out, then lose to teams they don't deserve to lose to. So I think this is one of the games they blow them out, and kind of love it. The more I'm looking at it, kind of love it. Where are you at?
I tend to agree, honestly. I tend to agree. It's a huge spread, but yeah, Buffalo off a loss to New England. Can't help but think they're maybe looking ahead just a little bit with the short week here. I mean, it's tough to say you look past a divisional opponent, especially Bill Belichick. But I don't know. It's just I did not expect him to lose outright to New England. I had New England spread last week for the show, but yeah, did not expect the outright win there. But yeah, I just think I know a lot of people are selling on Buffalo right now. I don't think they're that bad. I mean, I kind of sold on them earlier in the year, bought back in, and I'm still kind of bought back into them. I think they have potential to blow the doors off Tampa, honestly. Not huge on Tampa, especially offensively. So, yeah, I think Buffalo has enough offense in this game to kind of pull away late. Favorite way to look at this would be teaser with Buffalo, get them down to 2.5. I also have a little parlay I'm looking at. Might give it out in the big 3. But Buffalo to me is a nice parlay piece, a nice survivor leg this week if you haven't already used them. I don't see Buffalo losing this game at home against Tampa here. So my only concern is they do have Cincinnati on deck, and I believe I could be wrong. That might be Sunday Night Football next week. However, I just don't feel like they're fully in a spot to look ahead. I think they need this win. Not only that, but they have 11 days before that matchup, so they're gonna have time to prep for them. So yeah, I'll take Buffalo big in this game, and I would lean over. I could see this being like 31-13, just squeaking over that over, but I think Buffalo covers.
Yeah, you are correct. Next week it is Buffalo, Cincinnati. Finally, well, we've had a couple good primetime games, but finally another good primetime game that is next week. But yeah, I love that score prediction as well. I could even see like a 38-3 type of game. So I do think I agree with you. The over is probably the play. If I am going to take any sort of total, it's going to be Buffalo's team total going over because I think they're just going to, like you said, blow the doors off this one. But yeah, kind of like that play. I was kind of shocked the line was that high. I'm kind of wondering what it was. I think that's probably what it would have been even if they won, even if they covered against the Patriots. So now
See,
that
I'm
they
wondering
lost,
too. I
so
thought we
they,
were gonna get a gift
yeah,
on that spread.
right, right. I thought it was going to be like, maybe like 5.5.
Me too.
8.5. Yeah, again, that's probably exactly where it would have been if I don't know. It's weird to me. So yeah, kind of like that play a lot. But let's keep moving. The next game we have the Eagles traveling to the Commanders in the NFC East, I believe. Yes, the NFC East, NFC Beast. Philly is a 6.5 point favorite on the road. Over under is sitting at 43.5. I'll let you go first on this one.
Yeah, so I'll start off by saying Washington plus 6 was the look ahead line last week. This was the play I was absolutely in love with. Now it's 6.5. This is still one that I'm looking at betting Washington on here. My concern is that I'll just get in why I love it is Philly's off that Sunday night win against Miami. Before that, they're off the loss to the Jets, so that was a big game. Needed a win there. Was on Philly that night. Loved that game. Now they have Dallas on deck, so just a big sandwich spot. They just beat Washington, I think, 3 weeks ago. Um, so it just feels like a flat spot. They could kind of overlook Washington, prepare for Dallas because that is going to be obviously they'll play each other twice, but two huge matchups for Philly this year. It's probably going to decide the division. Um, my concern is that Washington took them to overtime in Philly, so I just don't know how. I don't know. If Philly would have blown them out the first game, I would have loved Washington here. It just there's a little concern that Washington played so tight with them, but I'm still going to take Washington plus 6.5. It's still going to be at least a 1 unit play for me. Last week it was going to be a 2 or 3 unit. Don't know if I have that same confidence, but still going to play Washington plus 6.5. And I look for this one to stay under. Washington just hasn't been too impressive. I think if you're leaning Washington, you're probably leaning under too because they're not going to go toe to toe in a shootout with Philly. And like I said, I think Philly could kind of be looking ahead to Dallas. They just kind of want to get in, get out with a victory, and move on. So Washington plus 6.5 and under for me.
Yeah, I mean, you said it right there. These two teams played in overtime. Eagles squeaked out. I think that was like 2 or 3 weeks ago, so relatively close. I agree. I think Washington is the play here. I'm a little nervous because you're not getting a touchdown spread. You're getting that 6.5. So unfortunately, you do not have the hook here. That is worrisome, but it's back at Washington. I think Washington has the thought process that they competed with them at Philly, that they can now compete with them or even win at home. So I think they're going to go in with that mentality. And as you said, Eagles are kind of smushed in a bad scheduling spot at the moment. So yeah, I'm a little worried that Eagles are going to have a little revenge. Say, hey, let's blow this team out. They're not very good. Let's just blow them out, not take it to overtime like last game. So I'm a little worried about that. But I think Washington's just good enough to hang in there. And I agree, the under is probably the play. 43.5, divisional game. Washington doesn't have a whole lot going. We've seen the Eagles struggle on both sides of the ball. So I'll lean the under, but I like Washington as well in that game.
One last thing I'll say on that game. You did mention the 6.5 point spread, which obviously I would love to get a 7, but I do think public will look at that and like, oh, Eagles by a touchdown.
Right.
Let's hammer it. So I do like it for that reason that it has moved to 7. Makes me feel a little bit better on Washington. And then other thing I will say is we've talked about Philly's schedule a lot, but and I've kind of mentioned that breather game, but this does feel like a breather game. Sandwich between Miami, Dallas, Kansas City, Buffalo, San Francisco, Dallas again, and Seattle. So really the last like quote unquote easy game for them in the coming weeks. So yeah, we'll see. But I do like Washington.
Yeah, that's a gauntlet. That's an absolute gauntlet.
I don't know if I've seen a worse NFL schedule in my life.
Yeah, definitely not the Lions. That's pretty much a cakewalk from now for Detroit, but we'll get into
Right.
them later. To me, the most surprising line of the weekend, one of the more surprising lines. We have the Patriots traveling to Miami. Miami's a 9.5 point favorite at home. Over under is sitting at 47. Now, we just talked about New England when we were talking about the Buffalo game. They beat Buffalo. Yet they're still a 9.5 point favorite on the road against Miami. I understand that public like me is going to be looking at that and said, hey, maybe Patriots aren't that bad. But I think it's a little, they're playing at home. They're in the same division as Buffalo, right?
Yep.
Yep, same divisional opponent. They play these teams twice a year. Belichick pretty much knows Buffalo by heart, knows what their coach, what they're going to play, what they're going to call. So, oh, and Miami's in this, aren't they? Though, so that's the same thing. So, to me, it's a high line. Like Miami, yes, Miami's good. We saw Miami struggle at times. I don't know. It's not too high of a line. I might just be riding the Patriots right now. After last or before last week, I said I would never bet them again. Of course, that week they go on and beat Buffalo. But I'm going to bet them again. I'm going to take the Pats plus 9.5 on the road. I think they figure it out. I'm very terrified of Miami, but I think they figure it out. And I like the under 47. I think it's just too many points. If Miami wins this game, if the Patriots win this game or cover this game, it's going to be by stopping Miami. So there's no way it's going to go over and the Pats to win. So I guess if you want to take both, you're guaranteed one winner in my opinion. So I'm going to take the under, but kind of love the Patriots plus 9.5.
Yeah, this was a game I absolutely loved last week. Look ahead line was New England plus 13. I thought Buffalo would get the job done. Thought maybe this would move to 14. Thought there was even a slight chance Miami was going to beat Philly. I mean, who knows where that could have gone. This could have been 16.5 if Miami beat Philly and if Buffalo covered against New England last week. But now we sit 9.5, and I've completely flipped. I'm on Miami in this game. Miami beats up on the weak and can't beat the good teams, so I think they probably do pull away in this game. After their first loss of the season, I'm blanking on who. Oh, Buffalo. I believe they came out and blew the doors off whoever they played next. It was a weaker opponent, the Giants maybe. Um, but yeah, I kind of see it similar here. Like you said, they already played. Miami did win 24-17. Um, but yeah, I just think it's kind of a get right spot for Miami after that loss. Just don't see them taking this game for granted. It is at home. I think we're getting some added value with the New England win. So yeah, I'll lay it here with Miami. I really wish things would have gone different. I was going to hammer New England this week at like plus 14, but um, yeah, the one concern with Miami is they do have Kansas City on deck. Actually, that is that the Sunday night game?
No, Sunday night is your Bills.
It is the Bills. Okay.
Yep.
Is that prime time? Kansas City, Miami? No, that's Germany. That's the
Yeah,
Germany game. So
9:30 a.m. Yep.
that's a tough travel spot. But yeah, I don't love this game enough to bet it at this point, but lean Miami. I also lean the under as well. Like I said, it was 24-17, so 41 points weak in the first matchup. See something similar in there, low 40s.
Yeah, pretty ugly game. I probably won't bet it, but hopefully the Pats can pull it out because I do have the Bills to win that division. Need a couple losses from Miami there. Next, a battle of two New York juggernauts. The Jets are facing the Giants at the Giants. Do they play the same stadium?
Mm-hmm.
Same stadium, so it doesn't really matter. Jets are a 3-point favorite, technically on the road. Over under is a whopping 36.5 points. Take it away.
Oh man, I don't know. I don't know. I'm gonna lean the Jets. My lean is on the Jets. I think they're better. They're off the bye. Although I don't like playing on teams who had momentum going into their bye week because I think it kind of halts that momentum, and they did with that win over Philly. But I just think there's a little bit too much value on New York with that win over Washington last week. I think New York is still really bad. Yeah, no real great feeling on the side here. I think the Jets defense can get to Daniel Jones like Seattle's defense did. Really cause issues. I like the under. It's so low. I probably won't bet it, but yeah, I just think the Jets defense could just wreak havoc on this offense of the Giants. Giants haven't been able to put up points all season long. They had that one half where they put up 31 against Arizona. Other than that, I think it's been under 20 all year. And the Jets don't have a prolific offense either. So lean under, lean Jets. Don't love it.
Yeah, I'm going to cross out one of my original thoughts on here. Again, sometimes I just change on the show. Sometimes that's how I do it. But love the under as well. That was not my play on here. Love the under, 36.5. I think this is going to be like, I don't know, 10-13 type of game. Very low scoring. I was originally on the Giants. The more I'm thinking about it, I do kind of like the Jets. I understand, like you just said, they're, had a couple wins, went on to the bye week. That kind of sucks. The Giants, I believe, won last week, if I'm not mistaken. I think I kind of hope Tyrod Taylor is still playing for the sake of New York, because Danny Dimes is not the guy. But yeah, I think the Jets are the better team. I still think they find a way to, keep having success even after the bye. So I'm going to take the Jets here. Again, it's going to be a super low scoring game. So I could very well see this covering or closing right at 3 points. But I do think the Jets squeeze it out in a barn burner of a low scoring game. Barn burner of punts is what I'll call that game. We also, is that, I don't think so, because I'm excited for the Battle of New York. So I'm not going to classify that as puke in the mouth. However, this next game, maybe, I don't know, we can talk about it, but this next game might be one of those puke in the mouth games. Actually, probably not, because we're both NFC North guys. But we have the Vikings traveling to Green Bay. The Vikings are only a 1-point favorite. Over under is 43. Now, Ethan, why do you think it's just 1 point here? Obviously, the Vikings, they just beat San Fran on Monday Night Football. Big win. I did flip from San Fran to Minnesota, so I was happy with the outcome. But just 1 point favorite to Green Bay. I know it's at Lambeau. It's a tough place to play, but that just seems too easy for me. I feel like Minnesota should be like minus at least 2.5 to 3 after that win.
Yeah, I think it's Green Bay +1 because Green Bay's the side. Green Bay is going to win the game outright. And I actually like this game quite a bit. Yeah, I mean, Minnesota beat San Francisco. So my first inclination always is going to be to fade. Green Bay lost to Denver. That's kind of getting me to play on. Yeah, I mean, Green Bay hasn't looked too impressive, but I think their defense will keep them in this game, has kept them in a lot of games this year. Minnesota looked really impressive against San Fran, but San Fran's had their troubles. Their pass defense is, I won't say weak, but um, it's the weakness on the 49ers team, and Kirk Cousins was able to exploit that. He's not going to have the same success this week. They're still without Justin Jefferson. Um, I don't think they're going to be able to establish a run game. They just gave up on the run game against San Francisco. I was texting my buddy. I was like, I've never seen a team up passing the ball every play to burn the clock. And that's exactly what Minnesota was doing. It was crazy. I'm shopping Alexander Madison, and if anyone in my fantasy league wants him, you can have him. I'm done with that guy. But yeah, I think Green Bay is the complete right side here. I think their defense is better than Minnesota. Like I said, I just don't think Minnesota is going to have that passing success they did against San Fran, and the line is fishy as hell. So yeah, give me Green Bay +1 money line. I'll take both all day. Total 43. I'm going to lean under just because I think kind of same thing. I don't think Green Bay is going to go toe-to-toe scoring with Minnesota. No great feeling on that total, but I do love Green Bay.
Well, thankfully, we're on the same boat here, because I think Green Bay is absolutely the right play. There's no way in hell that Vegas throws out that line and it's not Green Bay. So Green Bay is winning this game hands down. It's, to me, my favorite play of the weekend because it's so obvious to read. Minnesota should be a much bigger favorite, even on the road. So I love Green Bay. You just said it. They lost to one of the worst teams in the league, Denver. Minnesota beat probably the best team in the league. Why is Green Bay only a 1 point dog? It doesn't make any sense. Green Bay is just such an obvious play. So I do like it. It is my most confident play of the weekend. Over under, I have no play. I'm not going to touch it. I would as well lean the under just because NFC North games historically have gone under when they play each other. So love Green Bay. It's my favorite play of the game, or favorite play of the slate. And again, it's just so obvious to me to read this one. There's another one that's almost as obvious that I do have as my second favorite play. That's coming up. But this one is my favorite play of the weekend, hands down. Most confident.
I love it. It's going to be one of those where I'll probably have 7 tweets during the game of just pure emotion.
Yeah. Like, it was so obviously the Vikings. And then all of a sudden, the Green Bay comes clawing back. You're probably going to tweet out your Green Bay money line's a loss after the first quarter.
Well, yeah, I'll get the reverse jinx in. It'll rip my heartstrings out for 3 hours, and then the dust will settle. I'll be like, they won.
I love it. If you're not following Ethan on Twitter, you got to check out. You can see inside of his brain while he sends out these tweets. It's pretty comical.
You should see it from my side because there's about probably 70% of the tweets I write up I don't send out. So
good. Next up, we have the Rams traveling to the Cowboys. Cowboys are a 6.5 point favorite. Over under is 45. I'll give it to you first since you are the Cowboys guy, even though Dallas sucks.
This line Dallas sucks. And this line scares the hell out of me. Honestly, just hope Dallas wins the game for my win total. I'm going to lean the Rams plus the points here. I think kind of same thing as the Philly game. It's like, Dallas at home just has to win by a touchdown. LA just lost to the Steelers, who has no offense. Um, yeah, I just think it's too easy on Dallas here. However, I do like Dallas off the bye, coming off the loss to San Francisco. I think they probably use that bye in a good way to kind of get healthy, get prepped. So I probably won't be touching this game. I'll just be rooting for Dallas to win the game straight up. Um, I'd be cautious taking Dallas in money line parlays or teasers this week, or Survivor for that matter. It wouldn't shock me at all if LA wins the game outright, but um, yeah, also Dallas has Philly on deck, so huge game coming up. Probably a good buy spot for them this past weekend, but yeah, lean LA plus the points here. Over under. I'm gonna lean under. I think Dallas has potential offensively, but they just don't really put it together in like these big shootout type of games. So I'll lean under here. But yeah, hoping Dallas just wins the game.
Yeah, this is a tough one for me. I've been back and forth on this one. I have the Rams written down right now at the plus 6.5. Rams are playing pretty bad ball at the moment. They just lost to Pittsburgh, I believe, straight up as a 3 point favorite. Dallas, as you just said, is coming off a bye. Rams are just playing bad ball. Dallas has time to figure out their kinks and stuff and what's going on with that bye week. So I think Dallas wins it. I think the Rams kind of figure it out though. It's going to be it's a tough game for them. It's a tough game to figure out playing up against one of the highest scoring defense I think in fantasy. The Cowboys D. I think they have like 4 or 5 pick sixes or touchdowns on the year. So definitely a tough game for Stafford and the Rams to start to figure it out. But I think they hang in there. I think this could be like a 5 point game. So I'll take Rams plus 6.5. I have faith this could possibly get to 7 points. I'm hoping if it does get anything over 7 or 7.5, I'll definitely jump on it. But my big lean right now is the Rams plus 6.5. Over under, I'm actually gonna go with the over here, and I don't love it. But I don't know. I feel like 25-20 is like where my head is at this game. And it's probably a little square to say that because that's exactly what the total is. And it's pretty close to the spread as well. But I think it's gonna be like 4 or 5 point game in the 20s for both teams. So I would lean the over. Don't love it either. But yeah, if the Rams get up to a 7 point dog, I'm taking that for sure. Next, disgusting game between the Falcons and the Titans. Titans are at home. Titans are a 3 point home dog. Over under is the lowest of the week, I believe, maybe the lowest of the year. 36 points. Is that wrong?
I don't think so.
Yeah, it's pretty damn low. 36 points. You heard that correctly. Again, this is recorded on Wednesday, so the line might move a little bit, but 36 points is the total in this game. I just talked for a little bit. I'll let you go once again between these two stinkers of teams. Well, you do like you are the Falcons guy.
I am the Falcons guy. And this had major potential for puke in the mouth game of the week. However, it's not going to be. Because Tennessee's rolling out Will Levis this week as their starting quarterback. Not
Really?
only that, but they're doing a little switcherooski with Malik Willis. It's going to be both of them in and out. So I like Tennessee plus the points. Atlanta's not going to know what the hell they need to prep for this week defensively. Yeah, like I said, it's probably going to be Levis to start, but they have no film on Levis. Limited film on Willis. Who knows what they're going to do with both of them? I could see both guys on the field at the same time, kind of like a Taysom Hill type situation. Yeah, I'm intrigued by Tennessee this week. Part of me actually wants to watch this game just to see what they do offensively. But yeah, I'll take Tennessee just because I injured player theory. Not that we're getting much added value because I don't think Levis or Willis are much of a drop off from Tannehill. But yeah, I just think it's going to be interesting, and I just don't think Atlanta is really going to know what to prep for defensively. So yeah, give me Tennessee plus the points. I actually like it quite a bit. And I kind of like the under. Atlanta's been just a dead nuts under team. I mentioned a couple weeks ago. They're actually 6-1 to the under on the year, which does make me nervous. Either this game or probably next game is going to go over for Atlanta. I just have a feeling, but yeah, with the uncertainty at quarterback, and I mean, I think they'll be able to do some things offensively with Levis and Willis, but there's a chance they don't too. So I don't know. I'd lean under. Favorite plays Tennessee plus the 3.
Well, I'm a little embarrassed to say this because I was not aware that they were making a quarterback change. So a little embarrassed. I came ill prepared. Originally had Atlanta, but I am I allowed to flip?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
I'm flipping. I'm flipping to Tennessee here. I love it. I love it. Bunch of hooligans at quarterback for the Titans. Sounds like something, like you said, fun to watch. No idea what they're going to do. So I'm going to take the Titans as well. I'll be rooting for it. I don't mind Levis, even though loved watching him cry on draft night, falling all the way to the second round. I love that. But yeah, I'll be rooting for him. And Tyrod Taylor figured it out on the Giants. Coming in, I think this little two-team tandem will keep it competitive. So I don't know if they're going to win it, but I'll flip. Take the Titans plus 3 at the 36. I already took one under at 36.5. I'm going to take the over of this 36. Kind of just rooting again for that little QB tandem. And like you said, Falcons are due to explode one of these games, but probably not. But who knows with this Falcons team? So I'll lean the over in that. But yeah, I'm going to flip to Tennessee just for the circus we're going to watch. So
Yeah.
thank you for bringing that up. And I need to be better because I was not made aware of that QB change there.
Yeah, I think Tannehill has an ankle injury,
Okay.
which is So I think he is still the starter in Tennessee. He's just out this week.
Okay,
I believe.
that makes sense. Sense. Next up, we have Jacksonville traveling to Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh is a 2.5-point dog at home. Over under is 42. I'm gonna have to go with Pittsburgh on this one again. Pittsburgh. We make fun of Pittsburgh quite a bit. They're almost similar to those Chicago fans, except Pittsburgh somehow finds ways to win that I don't know how they do. Chicago does not find ways to win unless they have a Division II quarterback starting. So I'm going to go Pittsburgh at home plus 2.5. I think their defense makes Lawrence's life hell. I think the defense could possibly, Lawrence throws a bunch of picks anyways, especially this year. So I think they could get a pick 6 in there, maybe a strip sack fumble. We saw in his one London game have like 3 or 4 sack fumbles. So I think the Steelers are going to get after him. So I'll take them happily at the plus 2.5. I don't think this line is going to get up to 3. I honestly think it's going to go more in favor of Pittsburgh. So if you want the 2.5 right now, I would suggest hopping on that. At least that's my thought process. But I think Pittsburgh wins it outright. Over under 42. I'll go the under. I think it's going to be like a 19-10 game. I don't know. I think Pittsburgh's going to get it done. I think Jacksonville is going to really struggle. I am not playing Ridley or Trevor Lawrence this week in fantasy. Don't have any faith in them. Ridley has also become almost a non-factor after 2 hot weeks in fantasy. So, yeah, I think Jacksonville has a whole bunch of troubles this game, and I think Pittsburgh wins it on the money line.
I tend to agree, but God, I don't know. If you can handicap a Pittsburgh game, you're better than I because I just cannot. I just need to keep my money off games that Pittsburgh is involved in. But yeah, I lean Pittsburgh. Their offense looked a lot better against LA after their bye week, so maybe they figured some things out. And if they did figure out their offense, they should be a pretty decent team because, like you said, their defense is already pretty good. So yeah, I'll lean Pittsburgh plus the 2.5. Not only that, I have Jacksonville to win the division. I know you do as well. And there's always, whenever I bet those futures, there's always one game that kind of sneaks up on you and they lose it. And it's like, damn it, that could be the one that like you look back on. I feel like it could be this Pittsburgh game here. So yeah, I'll take Pittsburgh plus the 2.5. Don't hate them in a teaser as well, especially with the total being low at 42. Although it's not my favorite teaser leg out there. Jacksonville is kind of in a weird spot. They're off a Thursday night game and then have a bye on deck, so they're literally playing one game in like 21 days or something like that. My math could be off on that, but it kind of just reminds me like you have a huge break from work or like school, and then you just have to go back for like a quick little bloop, just show up, get out of there, and continue your break. So yeah, I don't know if we'll see quite the motivation from Jacksonville. Pittsburgh, on the other hand, they have a Thursday night game on deck, so short week for them. They might want to continue that momentum with LA, get the win here, and then go try to win the 3rd game in a row on the short week. Yeah, I'll take Pittsburgh plus 2.5 and money line as well, just like you. And then I'll lean under here as well. I could see like 24-17 getting right there to that low 40s, but not quite going over 42.
Yeah. I don't know. It feels like a Pittsburgh game. I was on Pittsburgh last week, so I don't know if I'm riding the Pittsburgh high at the moment. Had their on the money line last week too, which was super nice. Uh, so I mean, I think I'm a little too high on Pitt, but I do think they get it done at home. So um, it's not my most confident play, but I will most likely be betting that. Next, I know this game was probably circled on a lot of people's schedule because it's going to be a massive game. So, very excited for this one. The powerhouses of Houston travel to the undefeated in wins Carolina Panthers. Texans are -3 on the road. Over under is set at 43.5. What do you got in this week 8 Super Bowl game?
Puke in the mouth game of the week. I'm sure you could have seen that coming. Um, and what's even grosser is Carolina +3. That's going on my card this week.
Oh, man.
It's disgusting. Both teams off. I mean, first of all, it's the 2 first quarterbacks drafted, 2 rookie quarterbacks, both off a bye. It's like just an extremely similar matchup here. Um, yeah, I don't know. I think Carolina, they're not going to go 0-17, probably. Maybe they will. Um, I don't know. At home, off the bye, it just feels like +3 is somewhat of a weird line. Houston has looked decent with Stroud. Did he finally throw his first pick? I think he has one on the year.
He does have one, yeah.
Okay, yeah. But Stroud's look good. They've won a lot of games that I don't think people thought they would. So I'll take a shot on the +3. I'm not gonna probably bet it. But yeah, for the graphic, give me Carolina +3, under 43.5. I don't even know how it's that high. This should be in the 36 range. I
Yeah.
mean, that is nuts. Yeah, give me the under Carolina +3.
Yeah,
Disgusting.
I don't think Carolina's had one over this year in the 40s or one total in the 40s. So yeah, it's kind of weird that it's that high, which is definitely a little worrisome. Maybe they're thinking a bunch of rookie quarterbacks, but I unfortunately gonna have to go Houston here. I like the thought process of the Panthers because they have to win one of these games, right? It's extremely hard nowadays to go 0-17. Has it been done? I don't think so. The Browns did it when they was 0-16. Lions did 0-16. Okay, no one's ever done 0-17 since we added a game a couple years ago. So I agree. I don't think they're going to go defeated. This is a winnable game for them, but I think a lot of people think that. I think the Texans are gonna get it done. CJ Stroud, I've been dissing that guy. Obviously, I'm a Michigan fan. Hate Ohio State, but dissing him in college. Been dissing him in the NFL. He's actually been playing pretty well. He has one pick on the year still through 8 weeks. It's pretty impressive. So I think he's going to have success. Panthers are miserable on both sides of the ball. This should be a game where CJ continues to kind of roll what he's doing right now. So I'll take the Texans -3. Will not be betting this because I don't care to watch this game at all. Lean the under, obviously, because who wouldn't with a brain that's operating and works. So I lean the under and Texas -3. Not going to bet it because it is. And I just wrote these initials down. It's the PIMGAO, puke in the mouth game of the week. So it's the PIMGAO. Disgusting.
I've changed my position here.
Okay.
Carolina money line all day. Love it.
Oh, shit.
Clip it. I love it. Carolina is getting off the schneid. They're 1-6 after week 8. Book it.
Wow. Okay. You heard it here. You heard it here. All it took
Gross.
was me explaining my thought process to throw Ethan even more onto the Panthers. So
I hope Ben gets that gallbladder taken care of. He might really be puking after seeing that.
that's true. That's very true. Next, kind of similar to that Green Bay game, in my opinion, we have the Saints Colts. The Colts are a 1.5 point favorite at home. Over under is 43.5. What's your thoughts?
First of all, when I'm on my deathbed, when I'm like 62 years old, the Colts will be to blame.
62?
Yeah. The Colts have
Young death.
Yes, they have shortened my lifespan by a lot. Yeah, I don't know why I'm like just madly in love with betting the Colts. I don't know. It's been for like last 4 years when they haven't been good. Like ever since Andrew Luck was gone, I just have this weird infatuation with backing the Colts, and it's always a mad sweat. But yeah, this week I cannot back the Colts again. I think I'm going to jump ship. I think I'm going to try New Orleans. Don't love it either way here. But New Orleans with the extra rest off the Thursday night loss. I still think New Orleans is I mean, they're mid. Gotta say that for Ben here. But they should be good. They should be a lot better than what they are. Um yeah, I just something's telling me New Orleans gets it done here. I liked New Orleans against Jacksonville. They couldn't quite win that game, but I do think Jacksonville is better than Indy is. They added rest here. So yeah, I lean New Orleans plus 1.5. Probably take them on the money line. I think they win this game outright. Won't be betting this one. I'm happy taking a week off being on an Indianapolis game. But yeah, lean New Orleans, and then for the over under, the Colts are sailing over the total, and New Orleans just had their first over in their last 12 games. So kind of two worlds colliding here, and I'm gonna lean for New Orleans to go back to their under ways. I think under is the play in this game.
I realized when I said the lines in this game, I was wrong. It's actually the Saints who are the favorites. I believe -1.5. Colts are the underdog at home. I believe
Wait,
that is correct.
the Colts are the dogs.
Colts are now on my paper here. I had the Colts at -1.5, and I'm just on DraftKings now, and then they're at +1 now.
I'm seeing the exact same thing.
So I thought that I wrote the side on the wrong team, but maybe it just moved.
It moved
It moved
because
2
I have the same
points.
thing. I have Indy -1.5 from
Okay.
like a handful of hours ago.
Okay. So it just jumped 2 points as we're speaking.
Give me New Orleans.
Oh shit.
That's big money coming in.
Ah, crap it is, isn't it?
It's gotta be. No Joe Schmo is betting New Orleans at what is it, 4 o'clock on a Wednesday, 5 o'clock on a Wednesday.
God, you're so right. You're so right. I'm gonna take the Colts. And the only reason is my fantasy team that is 1-6. Guess who's my new starting quarterback this week?
Minshew magic, baby.
Fu Minshew is the quarterback. Again, I'm a terrible fantasy owner. It only makes sense to jump on the guy that scored 34 points last week. Might as well start him this week. What could go wrong? He's going to score 34 again, right? Probably not. But for the sake of my fantasy team, give me those Colts. Give me Minshew to run train. And Chris Olave, is he playing? Didn't he get arrested for reckless driving? There's no
He plays
suspension
for the
with that.
Saints, man.
What?
Did you see that video of him getting
Yeah.
arrested?
Yeah. Oh
He
yeah.
played for the Saints.
The guy's like,
And?
okay. Yeah. And,
Yeah,
and
I don't know. I don't know what his ordeal is. I'm guessing he will be playing, but I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah. It wasn't like drugs or he didn't kill anyone or he wasn't drunk, I don't believe. So
No.
I think it's just a reckless speeding ticket. But yeah. 5 o'clock on a Wednesday, massive sharp money coming on the Saints. Give me the Colts. Next game, pretty gross game, gross line. Not really sure what's going on with this one team. We have Cleveland on the road against Seattle. Seattle's a 3.5-point favorite. Over under is 38. Is Watson done? Is that the worst signing of our lifetime? 200 and some million to play 5 games.
Horrible. And it was writing on the wall.
Yeah.
It's too bad for him that he got into all that trouble and had to miss all the time because he was a real talent his first year. But yeah, not good. I don't even know. Is he playing this week? I'm not sure.
I don't know. He went off the field last week like he's dead. So
Yeah.
I'm not entirely sure. I kind of hope he doesn't play because I do have Cleveland in this game. And Cleveland has been hanging around there because of their defense. Their defense is phenomenal. I think I can call them the number one defense in the NFL. I know a lot of people want the Cowboys, a lot of people want the Niners, but the Browns, in regards to fantasy, I think are the number one defense. They score almost every week. They, unlike last week, they allowed the Colts to have 30-something points on them, but still racked up 20 fantasy points. Like this is a high-powered defense, and they can have kind of whoever they want at quarterback. Hopefully, it's not DTR because the one game that he did play was not very successful. I forget who came in after Watson went out. What was his name?
PJ Walker.
PJ Walker. Yeah. The Canadian Football League hero. Kind of hope he starts. XFL, right. Sorry. XFL. Kind of hope he starts because I'm taking Cleveland. I think I don't know. I could take about +3.5. I think the Seahawks could possibly win by 3. last second field goal or, win by 3 or 2. So I'll take Cleveland with the hook at plus 3.5. Kind of like it a lot. Love the under at 38 in this game.
I hate this game. First of all, those lines are up to date DraftKings lines right now. Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, Seattle was -3. The over-under was 39.5. So
Okay.
big movement on that total. I honestly don't know. I would lean Seattle, but I'm seeing 84% of the money is coming in on Seattle, which scares me. And that would make sense with that half-point move there. I kind of thought a lot of the public would be on Cleveland this week with their win over San Fran, and then they're putting up 39 points in a win against Indy. However, maybe San Fran losing made people look at Cleveland as not quite as good as what they thought. I'm gonna side with the public. I don't care. I'm gonna try Seattle minus the 3.5. Gosh, I don't like this 3.5 now, but I'll stick to it. Yeah, if it's PJ Walker again, I think he's had success. Um, against San Francisco, it was a tough spot for him. Then he wasn't supposed to start or supposed to play this past week. Came in for most of the game. Kind of caught Indy sleeping. They were prepared to play Watson. Had to play him. So I think with a full week to prepare for Walker, Seattle will be able to figure him out. So I'll lean Seattle here. The under seems like it's getting hit by sharp money as well. I'll follow that. I'll take the under 38. No real strong lean there. And then quick, kind of funny story about PJ Walker. Me and two buddies, we had a future on the Houston Roughnecks to win that inaugural XFL season, or not inaugural, but the first season that they brought it back. And PJ had us at like 5-0 or 6-0. They're riding, and then stupid COVID took it away. Never got our bet refunded. So,
Really?
yeah, ridiculous. But big PJ Walker fan before his NFL career.
Cowards, those damn sports books.
I know it.
A rematch of two teams I think played 3 weeks ago. The Chiefs are traveling to Denver now. Chiefs are a 7-point favorite on the road, over under 46. I believe you talked about this game briefly a couple last episode or a week ago. I believe, if I wasn't mistaken, you kind of like the Broncos.
Yep.
Okay. I am going to take the Chiefs at the -7. I also just acquired Travis Kelce in my other fantasy league, and he did phenomenal. So I'm a big Chiefs guy now, big Kelce guy now, and most importantly, I'm a Swiftie. But I think the Chiefs get it done, -7. The other game was pretty ugly. I think it was 19-12, or it was a weird game, something like that, 19-8.
They won by 11, 19-8.
Yeah,
That sounds
yeah,
right.
something gross like that. But I think the Chiefs get it done. I just hate. I say it every week. I just don't like Denver. Don't like Russell Wilson. Don't like their coach. Forget his name, Sean Payton. Don't like him. So as a new Chiefs, Kelce and Swift fan, give me the Chiefs to cover a touchdown.
I'm taking Denver plus the 7. Kind of kicking myself. This was another one I really liked. And really the only one I still liked after this past week's results. But yeah, like you said, quick turnaround game here. Kansas City just won by 11 on Thursday Night Football 2 weeks ago. So yeah, obviously divisional opponents, very familiar with each other. Tough spot for Kansas City, which is the main reason why I like Denver. They're off the divisional win against the Chargers, who often give them troubles. And they had Denver before that, so 2 straight divisional games before a third. Then they have to travel to Germany to take on Miami. It's going to be a up and down offensively packed game probably. And I think there's just, they just beat Denver like 10 days ago. They're like, okay, we just got to do it again. We'll go in there and then we'll get ready for Miami overseas. So just think it's a tough spot. Denver's off the win, built some confidence against Green Bay this past week. They have a bye on deck. So they're focused, turning the ship around a little bit here. So yeah, I like Denver if you can get them a touchdown or better. Like that quite a bit. This is bouncing between 7 and 8 right now. I hope it goes back up to like 8, 8.5. But yeah, I think if you can get them 7 or higher, you're probably in a good place with them. So yeah, Denver plus 7. And I'll lean under here. I just think Kansas City get in, get out with a win is their mindset. They're not going to try to run up the score. Denver's defense sucks. Their offense is decent. So it kind of screams over. But like you said, the first game was ugly, stayed well under the total. I think this one stays under too.
Yeah, if you're new to the show or relatively new to the show, you can kind of see our different betting patterns. Sometimes we both agree on traps ish or sharp plays. But I am a very impulse better. If you can't tell yet, I just said I'm betting Kansas City simply because I have Travis Kelsey now. Ethan definitely looks at the look ahead spots, the schedules, the matchups. So there we defer a little bit. I will say, as a fantasy owner of Kelsey, I'm super excited this week because when they played Denver 2 weeks ago, they decided not to guard the best player on the field at all. I think Kelsey had 8 or 9 catches at half. I did have his under in catches in that game at 6.5. That was, I think, broken in the first quarter. So looking forward to this game for Travis Kelsey. I think he's going to have another big game 3 weeks in a row now. But yeah, so just a little difference in betting. You're getting everything on the show. And an impulse better, reasoning on worst bets, and then a methodical schedule, look ahead spot better. And Ethan, for the most part, I mean, obviously we're different, or we agree on a lot of things and look at things in the same way, but just a kind of different ways to look at games.
I also,
Go ahead.
it is statistically proven Travis Kelsey's stats are better with Swift in attendance. So maybe make your lineup, or whether he's in your starting lineup based on Swift in attendance.
Will she? I don't know if she's loved in Germany. Will she go to Germany? Maybe she has a
Not
concert
sure.
there or something. That
Not
we'll
sure.
we'll have to keep you guys updated on Swift's flight path. Um,
Yeah.
a pretty gross game. I think the line is a little messed up here. We have the Ravens, who are an 8-point favorite on the road against the Cardinals. Over under sitting at 44. I say that about the line because Ravens destroyed the Lions. Ethan's tweeted about it. I have a little bit different take. Lions were in a bad spot. Ethan's tweet. I thought the Lions got exposed a little bit just because, yes, I still think they're a great team. They're just not as good as we think they are, in my opinion. They kind of have had an easy schedule and then they played one tough opponent. It was a bad scheduling spot, I agree, but got exposed a little bit. I think that line is obviously they're playing the Cardinals, who are not great. I think the Cardinals have one win on the year, but 8 points. I would be excited to see what that line would be if it was a closer game in Detroit. I don't know if it would be 8 still or if it moved down to 6.5, 7. But 8 seems a little high. With that being said, I think Baltimore is a much better team. Their defense is now phenomenal, stopping Detroit, stopping a couple other teams. I know in ESPN fantasy, they're the number 2 defense, I think, behind the Browns. So I think Baltimore takes care of business. And I kind of wish I saw this line before the Lions game, what it was at. But 8 points, I think we could have got it down to a touchdown if we got it before that Lions massacre. But I'll still take the Ravens on -8 here. Over under, I would lean the under just because, again, big, heavy defense in Baltimore. Cardinals can't really score and don't have a whole lot of offensive firepower. And in general, the Ravens just aren't putting up the points like they did last week. It's not what the Ravens do. So I like the under, but I think I'm going to take the Ravens on the -8.
Yeah, no great feeling on the total here. I will lean under with you. Not much to say about that one, but love Arizona plus the 8 here. Baltimore couldn't have looked any better against Detroit. And yeah, I mean, I don't fully disagree with your take there. It was the best team Detroit has faced this year. And yeah, I mean, Baltimore, at least on Sunday and probably by the end of the year, is the better team out of those two. Sneaky Super Bowl pick. I do have a little bit of money on them to win the Super Bowl this year. So that did make me feel a little bit decent with how they played, especially Lamar on Sunday. But yeah, I just think this is kind of the breather game. Baltimore came over back from London after beating Tennessee, then really put it to Detroit for their only second loss of the year. Now they have to play Arizona, who just has the one win on the year. Kind of like, I guess, again, that breather spot. AFC, NFC matchup. So Baltimore, if they do lose it, it's not the biggest deal in the world. Um, yeah, I just think Baltimore couldn't have looked any better. So the value is probably on Arizona. Arizona was kind of that covering machine early on. Looked a lot better than what people initially thought. Now they're coming back to earth. They've failed to cover their last two games, which were divisional games against Seattle and the Rams. I think back home, +8 is just too many points here. I just don't think Baltimore cares that much, honestly. And I just think there's too much value on Arizona with how good Baltimore looked last week. So give me Arizona plus the 8. One of my favorite bets of the weekend. Probably at this point, my favorite bet of the weekend, actually. And then, yeah, slightly into the under, but no real feel on the total.
Yeah, again, I wish I would have saw this line before the Lions because I'm interested to see what that would be because it's definitely skewed a little bit because of, again, that massive victory over Detroit. Are the final non-primetime game of the week, and probably the most watched game, most anticipated game, is the Bengals coming off a bye against San Fran, who's coming off 2 straight losses. San Fran is a 3.5 point favorite at home. Over under is set at 43.5. This putting my brain in knots. Since he kind of started to figure it out the last we saw him, but again, they had a bye last week, right? Last week, right? Yeah. So they had that bye. It could kind of slow their momentum. That's what I'm worried about. And then San Fran couldn't look worse. They've had 2 straight losses. No one thought that was coming. We all thought no one could stop San Fran. Now they just lost 2 weeks in a row. So I lean San Fran here because there's no way they lose 3 in a row, right? That's what we said last week, though, and that's what worries me. So even though I lean San Fran, I think I'm going to bet the Bengals here. I think the Bengals is a sneaky play, plus 3.5. You get the hook. I just have hope that they're going to figure it out like they did before the bye. And, they have a whole, 2 weeks to plan for this San Fran game. They just saw 2 teams beat them. So they've seen what's worked against San Fran. So originally I was really liking San Fran here, but I think Cincy is going to battle with them. And there's no chance they lose 3 in a row, San Fran. But I think that's exactly what people are thinking. So I kind of like Cincy on the money line too. I think they figure it out. San Fran's beatable. Brock Purdy is human. Christian McCaffrey's human, even though we had 2 touchdowns still. Yeah, I kind of love Cincy, and it worries me because there's just so many variables with Cincy. They've looked terrible. They look like the worst team in football. Then they looked really good. They haven't played in 10 plus days. So I just don't know what Cincy we're going to get. I'm hoping we get the good one because I am going to take them at the plus 3.5.
Yeah, I said Arizona +8 was my favorite bet of the week. It's actually this game. I'll probably bet it when we get off here. Love San Francisco, and I hope what I'm about to say sways you because I do think San Fran is the right side. It's actually not Brock Purdy. It is Sam Darnold starting.
No way. God,
Brock
I'm so
Purdy-
ill prepared today.
Well, I know you were doing some deliveries, but it was literally probably 20 minutes before we hopped on here.
Okay.
Brock Purdy entered concussion protocol, and I saw no player who has entered concussion protocol has played that same week. So he's not officially out, but I mean, the odds are against him. So it's actually Sam Darnold. This was 5.5. It's now 3.5. Injured player theory. We saw it last year with Trey Lance going down, back to Jimmy Garoppolo. We saw Jimmy G going down, back to Brock Purdy. They continued to cover games. Actually, when Brock Purdy came in, I remember that game. I was all over San Fran. They spanked Tampa Bay 35-7. Yeah, I love San Fran in this game. Shop around, you can get -3s. They're available right now. I'll probably lay a unit or 2 on the -3 once we get off here, and then kind of hold another unit or 2. See if this gets even lower. But yeah, Cincy, like you said, off the bye, I think halts their momentum. They finally figured it out. Got 2 nice wins there to enter their bye week, and yeah, I just think their momentum is stalled out now. San Fran, I still think they're the best team in the NFL. I still think they're the favorites to win the Super Bowl, in my opinion. And the one concern I do have is we talked about how Minnesota did expose their pass defense, which since he's obviously more than capable of doing, but they really haven't been that great passing team like we've seen in the past this year. I know they have potential to be, but they just haven't really been doing it. So yeah, I love San Francisco. For the graphic, -3.5, but like I said, 3s are available, so I'd shop around whichever side you're on and get the hook if you're on Cincy, lay the 3 if you're on San Fran, but absolutely love it. And then over under, I don't know. I can't even really give you a feel on the over under. I guess maybe under. Don't really have a great feeling, but yeah, I think San Fran's defense is really gonna step it back up here. They've had two worse weeks. I think they step back up. They're also going on their bye next week, so I think they want to get a win. They don't want to go into their bye down with 3 straight losses. So love San Fran. Oh, and also since he has Buffalo Sunday Night Football on deck, big AFC game.
Well, this show might be profitable for you guys, but it's even more profitable for me because I'm finding out things I did not know before hopping on this. So I flipped San Fran. I'm sold. You could have
Love it.
told me they had a high schooler starting at quarterback, and I take San Fran. Love it. So again, apologies for not knowing that, but again, this is the beauty of Better and Green. This is the beauty of intentional lounging. I was lounging around all day, came on here, getting some great info. So, um, yeah, I love it. Thank you for that info and the great explanation because San Fran is the play. I love it.
I love San Fran.
The Sunday night game, ugly game. Chicago Bears with their Division II quarterback, I still believe is starting against the Chargers. Chargers are an 8.5 point favorite at home. Over under is 46.5. I know you hate the Bears, and I know you said you were going to bet against the Bears. Are you going to bet against the Bears at 8.5 points on Sunday night?
I think I am.
How are you?
I think I am. I think Chicago has a touch of added value because that they got that win against Vegas, that Tyson Bagent or whatever has kind of been in the media with don't doubt the D2 guy, blah blah blah. The dude's not good. I mean, let's just call a spade a spade. The dude is not good. He'll be out of the league within the next year or two, maximum. Um, yeah, the Chargers are desperate for a win. They're gonna get it here. I have no doubt in my mind. Great teaser leg, great parlay piece, great survivor. I love the Chargers to win the game. Um, I would lean the 8.5. I'm not going to bet it that way. I will be using them in parlays and teasers. I'm not going to lay that many points on prime time, but yeah, I mean, the Chargers are the way better team. Chicago's off the win. LA's off 2 straight losses coming out of their bye. I just kind of the perfect storm here to get back on the Chargers. Um, I know I led you astray last week with the Eckler anytime touchdown, but if you can get this under like minus 150, which I know in this game with a 46.5 point total and the huge favorite on LA, the odds probably won't be great for Eckler to score anytime, but I do love it. It feels like a smash spot here. I think he gets at least 1, maybe 2, possibly 3. So yeah, love Eckler to score. Love the Chargers, teasers, money line, spread, all of the above.
Yeah, I was on Chicago last week. I was just kind of envisioning the reports. So Division II quarterback comes in, turns Chicago around. We're already seeing graphics of Chicago 1-0 with new quarterback, whatever, best record in football or some bull crap like that. So I was on it last week. I was happy. I had them on the straight up money line against the Raiders. It was like plus 150. Beautiful. I'm on the Chargers as well. 8.5. I love it. My favorite play in the game, however, is the over in this game, 46.5. Chargers can score on anyone. Also, don't really have that much defense, the Chargers. We're looking at this new Bears guy. I don't even know how to pronounce his name. Shepard. I know the school. They're in the same playoff region as I was when I was back in college. So I know who they are. Powerhouse of a program. They're going to get some points. And again, the Chargers defense is not good. They're not good. This guy can throw the ball a little bit. Obviously, is not the runner that Justin Fields was, but he's the equivalent passer, maybe a little worse, but he can throw the ball around. DJ Moore is still phenomenal. Talk about a sleeper in fantasy. That guy has really picked it up this year. But love the over, 46.5. I think, Chargers could have put up high 30s. I think the Bears can muster maybe 3 touchdowns, 20 points. So really like the over in this game, 46.5. One of these primetime games has to go over. I think I took all 3 last week, and I'm not sure the record on that. I know Monday night and Sunday night did not go over. I think Thursday nights actually did. But yeah. But love the over. Love the over in Sunday night's game. But I agree, Chargers are probably going to get it done. 8.5 is a lot of points, but I think it would have been higher if the Bears lost. So I think there's value in the spread there for the Chargers.
One quick thing I will mention, just because earlier you brought up some similarities and differences we have when handicapping the NFL. There's another similarity that you just mentioned. I too sometimes think like, what are the papers going to read this week? Like I could see the headline. I do that often. So it's funny that you brought that up.
It's burned me quite a bit on college football betting in Colorado because I was like, oh, the papers are just going to love when Colorado beats Oregon. But unfortunately, they did not win. If you do want college football, our show is coming out tomorrow. Me and Ethan do have a college football show as well. But yeah, I do kind of like looking for the story sometimes. It's the worst thing after a bet when like it didn't hit, but then you like read the newspapers or Twitter and you're like, oh, that was so obvious. That storyline was so obvious. How did I not get that?
I do that all the time.
Yeah. So I try to like look forward to it and predict like what are they going to say? What could the possible storyline be? Because that's the worst feeling in the world. We're just like, that was so freaking dumb. Like,
Right.
but
Like, I was envisioning McCaffrey touchdown streak snapped in
yeah,
Lost, Minnesota or something like
right,
that. I
right,
just yeah.
yeah. Speaking of the papers, we might have quite the headline on this Monday Night Football game. I think the Lions' first Monday Night Football game since the date. I think it's like 2016 or might be before that. I think it's like either 2016 or
Mm,
2011. I can
well,
look
I
it up.
believe it's more recently than that. I
I
believe we played the Packers maybe 2019?
okay. Maybe I was just looking at the wrong Twitter account, but I heard it was quite some time. Anyways, we have the Raiders traveling to Ford Field in Detroit. Detroit is an 8-point favorite in this game. Over under is 46.5. Take it away, Mr. Detroit.
The Raiders may not be the only ones traveling to Ford Field on Monday night.
Ooh, you gonna be in attendance?
I don't know yet. I'm hoping. I need to look at tickets again. They were like $200, but that was before Vegas and Detroit both lost. So I gotta look. I gotta talk to the boss man because it'd be a tough work day Tuesday. Probably worth it though. Um, but I would love to be at this game. I think Detroit blows the doors off the Raiders. Um, I'll lay it -8. If you can see, I'm on a little trend here. Prime time, I'm laying over a touchdown with all three of the favorites, which brings me to my primetime parlay, which
Ooh,
I quite love. Bills, Chargers, Lions, moneyline parlay. It's like -109, so nothing sexy about it. A three-teamer, you can't even get plus odds, but I love it. I mean, I don't see Buffalo losing again. I don't see Detroit losing to Vegas, and I can't see the Chargers losing at home to Chicago. They're all at home, primetime games. Absolutely love the play. Um, but yeah, I think like we've already kind of talked about, just a bad spot for Detroit. I wasn't shocked at all to see Baltimore blow the doors off of them. Probably did get exposed a little bit, like you said. Maybe not. We were being talked about as like the second best team in the NFC. I don't know if we're quite there. Time will tell with that, but Vegas isn't good. I mean, they just got their doors blown off them by Chicago.
right.
Uh, I mean, yeah, no way I would ever back them. It should be a pretty awesome crowd at Ford Field on Monday night. Like you said, Detroit doesn't get many Monday night games, whether it was 2019, 16, 11, whenever it was. They don't have many of them. So the crowd's going to be going nuts. It's going to be loud in that stadium. Yeah, just a really nice bounce back heading into the bye game for Detroit here. And I don't back Detroit often, so I do love Detroit quite a bit in this game.
So I've actually already locked this bet in, and I got them at 7.5. There's not really
Nice.
any difference in my mind between 7.5 and 8. It would have been different if I got them at 7, but 7.5, 8, it's the same freaking thing. Locked it in on Tuesday or Monday. So Detroit on the spread. No chance they lose this game. Dan Campbell had a great quote after this Ravens game. He said, "I'm kind of happy we lost because we needed a wake up call. We were a little too high on ourselves." I don't know the exact words, but along kind of along the track he was going. Detroit was getting a little too high on themselves. We were, as fans, I was guilty of it. I know you probably were a little guilty of it as well. And there was talks of us being the first or second best team in the NFC. I mean, I think we're up there. I think we're top 5. If you're putting us at 1 or 2, it's a little bit of a stretch. So Dan Campbell, he'll get his boys right, and he'll find a way to make that a great learning lesson against Baltimore. Still will motivate them in practice because they have a ways to go, and that is obvious. But Detroit's winning this game at home, and it's just a matter of how many points. There's no better opponent to get right with than the Raiders. This is a perfect area for Detroit to figure things out, work some kinks out, gain some confidence back. So love Detroit, -8, -9, -14, whatever you want. Detroit's winning this game. I think they could win it by 20 plus points. So I'll take Detroit here. I'm also
Agreed.
going to go with the over in this game, 46.5. Detroit's defense got a little exposed to the Raiders. I do kind of like, I haven't looked at it yet, but I wouldn't mind a little Josh Jacobs yardage prop because Detroit just allowed, I think, like 300 rushing yards. Not really, but it was up there in rushing yards to the Raiders. But I think Detroit blows the doors off. So I think Detroit could get up to the maybe even 40 points in this. I think Raiders can put up at least 10 to 14. So love the over 46.5. But my favorite play, Detroit on the spread in this game.
Love it. Don't disagree with anything. Think Detroit absolutely smothers them. I mean, yeah, 20. Wouldn't doubt if they won it by 30. I mean,
Yeah.
I think it's just a blowout. Also love the over.
Yeah. Perfect. With that being said, that's all the games of the week. We did kind of blow through them. We need to come up with a squad ride here. It's usually a 3-person squad ride. Again, Ben from his hospital bed, maybe he can input on this, but what are you thinking? I know you leaned me onto San Fran. I'm a little worried about that one because I originally was off of it. We love
There's
Detroit,
one
but
that I've had in
go ahead.
Detroit would be fun.
I do have Detroit in my big 3 though,
Okay.
because I already bet it.
Yeah.
What else? What one did you have?
The one that I've been thinking basically through the whole show is Green Bay.
Yeah, I like it. It's in my big 3, but I can figure another one out.
Okay.
You want Green Bay? Green Bay, you just want to take them straight up on the money line? Or do you want +1?
Money line.
Money line?
They ain't losing that game.
What's the money line of this bad boy? Minus
Yeah.
108 for Green Bay.
It would be fun, since it's just you and me, to use Detroit on Monday Night Football.
Do you want Detroit?
I don't know. What do you think? I feel more confident in Green Bay, but
I mean, Green Bay's gross, but we kind of come off as geniuses if we took Green Bay.
Green Bay.
Green
Yeah.
Bay. Okay.
We just come off as homers if we take Detroit,
Right.
who got
Right.
lucky. Yeah.
Okay. Green Bay. Green Bay on the money line against the Vikings on this upcoming Sunday. Minus 108 is our squad ride. You got your big 3 ready? I need a second to figure out my last play, but go ahead.
Okay. So I like these plays equally. That primetime parlay I gave out and a teaser. I cannot hit a teaser to save my life. I don't know why. They used to be so profitable for me. It's just getting frustrating. So I'm going to try another one here because I have to get off the schneid with that. But I'll take Buffalo down to -2.5, Detroit to down to -2 for my first play, -110 teaser. I'll lay it with San Francisco minus the 3.5. And then I'm going to take Arizona +8.
Wow. Okay. Beautiful. I'm going to go with the Sunday night over between the Bears and the Chargers at 46.5. I'm going to go Detroit on the minus. I'm going to put 7.5 because I got it early, but it is 8. It's the same thing. Actually, I'll just go -8. There's no difference in my mind. So Detroit -8. And then I did have Green Bay, but I'm not going to use it because that's our squad ride. I'm going to go to the Bills -8.5.
Love it.
Bills -8.5. I know we're kind of double dipping on that one with the teaser. But yeah, I really like Buffalo. That's a disgusting line. Green Bay was my other line that I thought was gross. I originally liked the Colts, but you said there was some big old something's moving on that Colts game that has taken me off it big time. I'm interested to see how that line ends up, but that kind of freaked me out. But yeah, the more I'm thinking about this, I kind of like the slate now.
I do too. I've talked myself right into loving the slate. I'm also thinking about all the bets I could possibly make on this Detroit game on Monday night, especially if I'm in attendance.
Yeah.
Man, oh man. Yeah. I love it. It's also quite apparent that we love the primetime games because we're just all over those in our big 3.
Yeah, I have one in every game. Yeah. I mean, they're the most fun to watch. It's the only game on. Usually it's competitive teams. So I think all prime times this week are 8.5, and 8 are the spreads.
Yeah.
So could very well not be a great primetime week.
Is the primetime parlay, is that as square as it gets, or is that sharp?
You know,
I mean, there's no way.
I'm gonna make a primetime parlay video, and I guarantee you, I get shit on in it.
Yeah.
Do you remember my playoff parlay?
Oh yeah.
The 3-teamers, that was -150.
Oh yeah.
That found its way on
Buffalo
FanDuel
and Kansas City, I think.
Yeah. People did not like that one.
No.
So maybe
they liked it when it cashed.
They just said you got lucky. So
yeah, I'm taking it.
I'm gonna make a little graphic for you on primetime parlay.
I'm doing it.
I love the name. I might even make a video and get ridiculed by a bunch of fat people behind their phone screens. But yeah, that's beautiful. Well, do you have anything to add before we close out here?
Yeah, no. Yeah, so we're skipping the only hands today without Ben. Otherwise, just be a little back and forth here with Wyatt and I. So, gonna wait to do that until next week's show. We were gonna do a little Halloween special, but again, without Ben, just didn't feel like doing that this week. So we'll probably try to do that on Monday's live. So tune in for that. We'll do our best to get a little dress up game going. Yeah, other than that, tune in tomorrow for our college football show. Tough week last week, but usually it's a roller coaster. So we're due for bounce back in college football. Yeah, other than that, thanks for watching.
Yeah, make sure you guys are checking us out on everything. We have surpassed 1,000 follower mark on Instagram. I believe we're already at 1,100. It might even be at 1,200 at the moment. Instagram's growing pretty quickly. TikTok's growing pretty quickly. YouTube's growing. Everything's growing right now. So please hop on, tell your friends, share this to your friends and family. We appreciate the growth and the love. And we're just trying to continue to keep this thing going. We also have our website that is bettorgreen.com, BETTOR green.com. We post blogs on there daily. We have a bunch of other info, merchandise on the website as well. So make sure you check us out on all of our socials. And again, we're growing fast, but it's all because of you guys. We appreciate you guys every single day, every single week. So thank you for tuning in, and good luck if you are tailing our bets, and hopefully you enjoy this episode. We'll see you next time.
See you guys.
Peace, guys.
You better start listening to the Better in Green podcast. You will not regret it. Trust me, trust me, trust me. And hey, I'm Dean Blandino.
Welcome, welcome, welcome to Better in Green, eh? To Better in Green, eh? To Better in Green, eh? Listen in and cash out. That's what it's all about. Come on, let's make cash now. We always on spot and we cover all spots from the bottom to the top. Hey, shout out to Ethan, shout out to Wyatt, shout out to Ben. Welcome, welcome to our podcast. Better in Green.